Paul, KJ, I don't know about you. I have a weird feeling right now. I'm proud of the performance. I'm exceedingly disappointed with the finishing and the result. How are you feeling, bro?
Yeah, for a 0-0 on the Ten Hag, I'm not vexed. I'm not annoyed. I'm not angry. I'm not saying Ten Hag out or get this player out. The performance was good. It was a good performance, and that's the main thing. We've been asking as Man United fans, just perform well, don't get dominated by lesser teams, don't concede so many chances, and create as many chances as possible to try and win the game. And the players did that today, and Ten Hag did that today. The team was set up almost perfectly, and if the crossbar got in the way, some great saves from Henderson, who of course was going to play the best game of his life against us. He knows about vendetta and that. So, you know what I mean? Like overall, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the performance because this is a performance you see like 4, 5, 6 games down the line. You can start to see results coming. We weren't getting cut open that much. Yes, there were a couple of cutbacks, but Anana had them covered. Great double save from him today, by the way. Ten Hag's done this nice little tweak with the fullbacks where he's inverting them a lot more in the game, not telling them to push up as high. And Lord behold, we keep the ball better, we retain the ball better, and we're not getting cut for us as much. And people will have a go at Ten Hag for everything he does wrong, but today, and these tweaks that we've seen over the last couple of games, they've been working and been helping. And when players are hitting the crossbar, and when keepers are making great saves, like there's not much more you can do. But as a performance, as a whole, you just gotta turn around and sit as a United fan and be like, you know what, we can build from this.
Did you find United at times today, and I'd love to get Staffy's take on this as well, there was loads of I think in the last 15 minutes we did it too much where we started hoofing the ball, but where I was expecting to see a ball clip down the line, but actually we just recycled it and waited and were more calm and patient in our approach.
Yeah, and I think when you have the likes of Ericsson on the field and Mainu and inverting the low and Maswari, it's easier to do that with. So instead of feeling that you have to rush, you can actually know I've got players we can trust. I was watching it with my dad and I was saying the back line looks like they trust each other. The back line looks like they trust the midfield, and it was just putting balls in the midfield, keeping the ball, and then getting to the wingers at the right time. And those are great little tweaks that we need to see moving forward, and we need to build on that. Keep recycling the ball, keep the ball flowing, and then the chances will keep coming and coming and coming. And yeah, like the only player I said in the group chat, and then we can get into the very right later. Maybe is the only player I was disappointed today was with Bruno. But other than that, everyone else I think had a top game.
So when you ask that question, Terry, are you referring to the last 15 minutes or during the game?
I'm talking, as I said, in the last 15 minutes, I said I think we lost our shape. We started going a little bit too long ball. We didn't look very good. But over the majority of the match, did you feel the performance was better, that we were calmer in the approach, that we did have a better shape and patterns of attacking play?
Okay, so I did, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit angry. Like I usually do the whole like, haha, Ten Hag in. I'm really angry right now, and it's. I understand what KJ's saying, and I understand the question you're asking me, but like the second half was just completely unacceptable. Now, not because we started the game well means that I accept what happened in the second half. What happened in the second half was unacceptable to me. The changes, the drop off in the performance, and let's just be honest, Eze decided not to put us to the sword today. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, but we also missed chances." I hear that. I'm not debunking that. But Eze genuinely decided not to put us to the sword today. And we know Eze, with his quality, he would put most teams to bed. He's done that with Chelsea.
He just didn't do it this year.
I'm sorry?
If you've been watching Crystal Palace, this is pretty normal so far. So
Eze doesn't miss his chances.
He has been this year.
You're saying Eze normally misses
Eze this year has missed multiple big chances.
So you don't agree that it was up to him to drop points today?
This year, Eze has missed multiple big chances.
So what happens when? Okay, so let's say Eze now is shit this season. What happens when a better player than Eze gets these same chances?
It doesn't. Man, at the end of the day, the hypotheticals are whatever. We missed huge chances too, so it's like you saying Eze decided.
So here's the difference. Can I because I knew this was going to happen.
No, I'm just saying you picked out one player who hasn't been a killer this year. So I'm calling out.
No, because he killed Chelsea. He put a banger against Chelsea, but then he missed easier game.
That's one game. He has not been that guy this year. So it's like it is what it is.
I'm gonna go by that narrative because I knew this was gonna happen. I usually prepare myself for this stuff because I know when I get gaslit on match reactions.
I'm not.
Let's just say, hold on. Let's just say it's okay.
Wrong.
Let's just say that Eze is not that guy, and today it is what it is.
Today he wasn't that guy either. He hasn't been that guy this year.
Okay, he's not that guy. The difference between the chances is that I can look at Henderson. I'll be like, you know what? Fuck you, Henderson, because you were actually very good today and you forced good saves. This guy was missing the target from 5 yards away. This is why I'm saying this. This chance, forget it's Eze. Someone else should have been putting us to the sword. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's not even what I'm trying to talk about. We could have lost the second half, and this is why I'm pissed. This is why when KJ says he's happy with the performance, I cannot be fully happy with the performance because I was happy with the second half. The first half. The second half is I started to get angry because why are we not maintaining the same level of possession? Why are we not maintaining the same level of performance? When I look at the subs, and I know people now are going to start saying this is the Ten Hag agenda. He's not talking about the chance missed. He's talking about the manager. The manager today made every effort to play transitional football after he was controlling the game. So as an example, he brings on Rashford, but puts him in the 9, where I thought if you want to bring on Rashford because he gives you moments, put him in his best position on the left. And for people who think it's a Garnacho agenda, because people are going to be like, oh, see, you just want Garnacho off. Fair enough, put Garnacho on the right then. I'm just saying, if you really want Rashford on the pitch, put him in his best position on the left. He's been scoring there. But he's seen him score against Barnsley. He thought it was going to happen again. The defense wasn't as open as the Barnsley game. And he takes off Xerxes, and Xerxes was our best player up front in terms of at least creating and maintaining the chances. Because the minute he came off, I was like, let me just sit there and count how many chances we're going to create when he goes off. We created 0 chances when he went off. And it's not even a Rasmus thing when I'm going to say Rasmus is not as good as Xerxes. I know they're different. If anything, I wanted Rasmus on for Bruno because Bruno was non-existent today. He had that one cross in the first half to Xerxes, but he didn't do anything else. I'm like, if there's a game that you can justify Bruno coming off before everyone, it was today. Eriksen only came off because he has no legs. Let's be honest. If it's on performance, Eriksen stays. I'm at the same thing on the right. He wasn't having the best game. He was getting double teamed a lot, but he was still trying to do something. We won a few corners just because of his attempts to dribble and cross the ball in. He started taking away the players that kept us in the game in terms of possession and started bringing on players that play transition. That front, we ended up with the front line of Garnacho, Rashford, and what's his name, Højlund. That's the same front line that we used all of last season and wasn't good enough. We all said that we didn't score enough goals with these guys. So he closed out the game with them. And I'm thinking of these players. I'm like, the reason we were actually maintaining the ball is because about 2 of these players weren't on the pitch at that time. So how does it make sense to try to keep up the same style of football and maintain the pressure and maintain keeping the ball, and then you take off the players that could do that? And one more thing, Ugarte coming off. I'm gonna let you guys answer just one more thing, one last thing. Ugarte also coming on is the same thing. I looked at all these subs and I'm like, if we are getting pressured and they're creating an abundance of chances, I understand these subs because that's a way to win the ball. To win the game and nick it late. If we wanted to counter them late because we're getting pressured, I hear that. Palace were not stupid. The manager looked at that and he was like, I'm not going to all of a sudden come out of my shell and start attacking these guys. Go look at the long balls that Onana played. Everyone from their back line was sitting on the edge of their box. They said, we're not going up. Yeah. There's no point of trying to make these subs if we are not going to change the game. It was completely nullified by the other manager.
I agree with the Rashford sub and for Zerx, that one baffled me. The Ugarte one, like, remember, they put on Lerma and they put on Will Hughes, who are workhorses. If tired legs Eriksen against those two would have been finished. So I think Ugarte.
I agree. That's why I said he's out only because of legs. But you guess what? Mason Mount would have made more sense to bring him on at this point than Ugarte, and I'll tell you why. At least Mason Mount gives you something in the final third. That is the closest leg to. I know. Listen, I'm not saying Mason Mount and Eriksen are the same thing, but it's the closest leg to leg you could do. I wouldn't mind Ugarte if we were winning 1-0 as an example, and we just don't want to concede no more chances. Or if you're bringing on Ugarte, you're bringing on what's his name, Mount at the same time. I just find it disgraceful that Bruno could see 90 minutes today, but some other players were brought up first. It just doesn't make sense.
So, listen, I don't overly disagree with, I suppose the only difference between you and I today, Staffy, is that you're hyper focused and angry on the
On the
Xerxes
manager.
sub, which I've already criticized. It was one in the first part I spoke about was
I
taking
didn't
him
see it,
off.
sorry, I didn't know what you
Yeah,
said.
no,
sorry.
and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying I disagree with you. And I've already said that element, Ten Hag gets criticized, Dom. I criticize all the players that missed chances today. I think they have that. What I'm not going to, again, I suppose this would make me a bit of a hypocrite, would almost be demanding that what we saw for the first 75 minutes, we've all been asking for it forever. We get it for 75 minutes. And I feel that
And then we focus on
I'm
15 minutes we
personally,
didn't do it.
I'm going to focus on the negatives and the criticism, but I'm looking at it like I was in the room. Let's say the football, say they're my team and I'm their manager, like I'm at work. I wouldn't just ignore the brilliant stuff they did. That maybe it's me as a person, right?
No,
And
no,
I
but
totally understand.
I hear you.
So
But
go on.
let me tell you why I emphasize that, because it's not my first time saying these words here. You can sit here and tell me how many times I came out of Match Reaction and I said that this manager usually makes subs that make us worse. It is not my first time saying it.
That
So
element,
if it's my first time to say
I'm
it,
getting there.
then you could say, you know what, you're
Happy,
highlighting it when we were playing good, but this is your first time highlighting because you have an agenda. I don't
Yeah.
have an agenda.
No.
He generally makes us worse with his subs.
And that element, Staffy.
balance,
Sorry, one sec, Cal. That's exactly what I was about to say, Staffy. Is that I get that's where you come from and it's what you're emphasizing and focusing on. The problem is when the panel kind of arrive at different times, we don't always know what Don did it earlier. Don put a tweet out that there's no better partnership in the league than Palmer and Jackson, and the panel spoke about it. And we all, didn't we, Mo? We all kind of agreed with him to a large extent. And he kind of came in going, I don't know why you guys think this is a crazy take. We're like, yeah, you didn't hear what we said. It was like no one really said that. Cam.
Before, can I just want to just raise
Mo.
one point. I'm sorry, guys. There is two ways as a Man United fan to look at this game. You can come to this game and say that Man United, even with the subs, had the same exact position, same pass success rate, everything looked exactly the same, and they were unlucky not to be up 1 or 2-0 in the first half. Or you can focus on that last part of the game, right? You can actually look at the game, and I was sitting in the first half, and even the majority of the game, like, Man United, number one, he had the guts and the balls to play without a destroyer. None of you, I'm sure, gonna mention this. The guy went to the game away from home at Crystal Palace at a tough game and chose not to play Ugarte, not to play Casemiro, and said, I'm going to go with this lineup and I'm going to dominate Crystal Palace and actually put them all the time under the pressure. That is number one, credit to Ten Hag. The second thing is, we look at the subs and everyone look at the subs and like, oh, we took out Xerxes. But you got to understand that sometimes he's also worried about the chances that have been created before. He wanted to prevent Crystal Palace from stealing the game at the end by putting a DM that can stop the middle. But hold on. The Xerxes sub, for me as a neutral, I thought Xerxes in the second half, in the first 10, 15 minutes, was a little bit out of the game. He gave everything in that first half by dropping deep. He created that chance for Garnacho. And I'm like, he might need a different energy. We looked at Crystal Palace. The manager of Crystal Palace, Glasner, came out in the second half and he had a counter to the Man United. That's why he made subs in the 45 minutes. He's not an idiot, as you said. He's not stupid.
And I didn't disagree with you. And that's why I said to bring a different element.
You looked at the substitution as a negative, and I'm looking at it as like, yes, the substitution. By the way, you got to understand that Marcus Rashford as well doesn't defend. So you need someone else to cover, which was Manuel Ugarte.
But he took out Ahmad, who's one of his best defenders, Mo.
But he doesn't
play.
What
you're saying in hindsight is right, but
when's the last time
who plays minutes? Do you want Ericsson with one part of a heart to play?
I didn't disagree with the Ericsson sub. I said he's only out because I already said he's out because of his legs.
I don't want to fight you. I am just saying.
Habibi, we're not fighting, Mo.
Hold on. I want to just say, as a neutral, the way I looked at this game, I said after the game, shit, these guys looked good, and they were just unlucky not to win this game. And yes, there was chances created. The difference is that Onana stepped up today, right? But the bar stepped out for Crystal Palace. There's 3 times you hit the bar, bro. Yes, Henderson had saves, but the reality is they could have been 1 or 2-0 up in the first half. I think Man United fans should look at this and like, well, we changed the plan. We played position-based football away from home against Crystal Palace without a proper DM, and we looked all right. And that is my take from the game.
So because we played
That's
good in
my
one
take
half,
from
I'm
the game.
supposed to celebrate.
Okay, so hold on. So,
No, you shouldn't be
you're not- don't
celebrating. No one
celebrate.
told you
don't
to
want
jump up
don't
and
tell me
down,
to
bro.
celebrate.
No one told you to
So what's
jump
the
up and
issue
down.
with criticizing the changes that
Because you
actually?
started
So all
with
that football that you
criticism.
said we were good at, I'm criticizing the manager for not maintaining it. I didn't blame him for the chances missed. So I'm not even being disingenuous. But I said I started my monologue by saying fuck Dean Henderson. Because today he was being world class. I've never seen him be world class for us. So that's already me admitting that we had enough chances to win. And I didn't say anything bad about the manager when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, we dropped points today. I need to talk about why we dropped points. I need to talk about how we, in the end of the game, we still didn't look like winning it. And I'm talking about the subs that didn't make us look like winning it. Because it's not my first time talking about subs. It's been something that I'm continuously talking about. It's not my first time, and it won't be the last time.
But you didn't mention any positives yet, other than Dean
Yeah,
Henderson
you guys have been on
world
for like about 30 minutes before me. I don't know what you guys were talking about. I just
I'm
wanted to
talking
talk
about
about
you.
my points.
talking about your approach. Guys, I'm talking about your approach. Terry, I listened to some. Terry literally said, okay, here are the positives, but I criticize this.
Nashimo, KJ was talking about it.
I know.
Do you want me to echo everything he said?
No, I don't. It's your
He
opinion.
talked about
I
the
don't want you to
positives,
echo
and now I
anyone.
debunked what I didn't like about what he said. So he talked about the positives, talked about the negatives.
Did you see any positives today?
Of course, the first half was completely positive. If anyone, and Griggs was on my watch along, Griggs will tell you it was me, him, and Traps. And I was defending Ten Hag for what he did before the subs. And anyone who watches me religiously will know that I was vouching for the manager. I said he did well, and we were unlucky not to score these chances. My issue is that we didn't maintain that. But if you want me to talk about the positives, him being ballsy today and playing without a destroyer ended up working. But you know why I'm not going to take it from some people? Because some people will sit here and they're going to nod their head and do all this. But when I was sitting there saying that we don't even need Ugarte like this, they were like, you don't know what we're talking about. The manager puts him on the bench today, and I was like, good one, Ten Hag. Good one. No. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that.